Hey, it's Jared. I have 7 truths about why the iPad mini is the iPad that you absolutely need. Now, if you've been around here for a while, I've made some other iPad mini videos. I'm definitely a big fan of the iPad mini. In a world where bigger options tend to be seen as better, it's not necessarily true in the case of portability and utility. The iPad mini delivers on all of those things, and I'm going to give you 7 reasons why I think that's true. So, truth number 1 is the unmatched portability and ergonomics of this iPad. The iPad mini has an 8.3-inch liquid retina display, which I think is just the right amount of display for a portable device that you would want to carry with you. This device is effortless to carry around, especially if you have other things and you don't want something that's going to bulk you down. This is really small. It's about the size of a small notebook. It's also very comfortable to handhold as well. If you have a case on it like this Moft case, it's very easy to hold it like a book and read from the Kindle app, jot down some notes with the Apple Pencil, or spin it around and view some content. Now, I also have the M4 11-inch iPad and 13-inch iPad, and I think there are perfect use cases for those devices, but I wouldn't call them portable and easy to manage as a daily device. Truth number 2, it's the ultimate personal entertainment device. Where your phone screen might be a little too small for comfortable viewing of YouTube videos or shows on Apple TV Plus or stuff like that, this is the perfect size display. We can rotate this around and have a nice view of the YouTube interface. I can go full screen, and videos are pretty darn close to full screen with not much letterboxing going on here. The other iPads definitely have a lot more letterboxing, although yes, you do get a bigger display, but as a personal media device, this definitely is a great screen size for individual viewing. Now, I'm not much of a mobile gamer, but my kids also have iPad minis, and they're the perfect size device for mobile gaming. Whether they're playing Fortnite, Minecraft, or grinding away on Egg Ink, it's a great size device for personal media and gaming. It's also a great device for pairing a mobile gaming controller to as well. Now, some may complain and say that the iPad mini doesn't have the latest chips. It doesn't have the M4 chip. It has the A17 chip, which is the same type of chip that comes in the phones. It can't have enough performance to do things right. Well, that's definitely not the case. I do a lot of things on my iPad mini. Of course, there are simple things like reading Kindle books and watching some TV shows, but I also edit a lot of my photos on the iPad mini comfortably from the couch. My kids can play Fortnite on their iPad minis without any lag. It has enough performance for that. And using ForeFlight as a private pilot, I'm able to use features like synthetic vision, which are definitely more processor intense, and I have no issues with lag or reliability. The A17 Pro chip and the increased 8 GB of RAM is more than enough performance. Number 4 is enhanced support with Apple Pencil Pro. Now, this was a little bit of a frustration when I moved from my last iPad mini to this iPad mini. The iPad mini 7 only supports the newest version of the Apple Pencil Pro and also the Apple Pencil USB. So previous versions of the Apple Pencil are not going to be compatible with this device. But with that said, it supports all the latest features like hovering, squeeze control, barrel roll, haptic feedback, and all of the other awesome Apple Pencil features. You can see I am quite the artist. But in all reality, I like to journal in my iPad mini, and the Apple Pencil experience with a screen protector on top that has the paper-like feel definitely makes for a fantastic experience. And so I'm totally fine with this only having support for the latest Apple Pencils because it does get those latest features. Along with the Apple Pencil support, there are also a lot of really great productivity features that are going to be coming to this device with iPadOS 26 launching later this year. Number 5 is that there's significant value with the storage bump that this version of the iPad got. Without a price increase, the base model of the iPad mini now starts at 128 GB and it goes up to 512 gigs, which is the model that I have here. On top of that, the USB-C port also supports connecting external drives to the iPad mini, so if you need to move files on or off of the iPad, you can easily do that by plugging in an external drive into the USB Type-C port. Number 6 is that the iPad mini has some future-proofing benefits to it, and that is the fact that it does have Apple Intelligence, and the iPad mini tends to get longer support time frames than other Apple devices. Because the iPad mini isn't refreshed quite as often, the support for this device is ongoing for a long period of time. being that this particular model has support for Apple Intelligence, and even though Apple Intelligence is hit or miss at times, I'm certain it will only get better, and this device will support it. And number 7 is that this is the niche dominant device. For many different use cases, the iPad mini is the go-to. First of all, I have my private pilot's license, and I like to fly small airplanes, and this is the device that I choose to take with me, which allows me to use apps like ForeFlight, and because it's an Apple device, I can easily respond to text messages without having to reach for my phone. There are apps that photographers and video creators can use to use this as an external display for their camera. There are a lot of other benefits that a device this size can have based on your individualized needs. But more realistically, I see this as my digital assistant. Yes, I have my phone, and there are things that I use my phone for. I definitely get into my calendar, manage email, different things like that in my phone. But it's nice to have a little bit more screen real estate for when I have a bit more time. It's very easy for me to pair a keyboard and a mouse to this and use it more like a larger iPad. So I can get this fold-out keyboard here from ProtoArc that I can easily turn on and connect, and then I can be typing out documents, responding to emails easily with this keyboard that's barely larger than the footprint of the iPad itself. And then also a small mouse if I wanted to go that far. But most of the time, I'll just have this little keyboard with me. I can knock out some emails, I can write. It's more distraction free because of the nice small screen. I'm not worried about maybe switching between different apps or having different windows open. And that's why I end up grabbing the iPad mini most of the time when I want to be productive and I don't want to carry a lot with me. Now, there are some common criticisms of this device. The A17 Pro chip, some may think is underpowered. I think that I've made a good argument against that. While sure, I would love to have a larger chip on this device like the M4, that would drastically destroy the battery life. I know the battery life on the bigger iPads is pretty good. The battery on the iPad mini is good as well, but if it had much bigger of a processor, probably wouldn't have the battery life that would live up to the expectation. Now, I, as well as most other people, are not doing things with their iPad that would require an M4, an M3, maybe even an M2 chip. Those are very powerful chips that can accomplish a lot. Most of us are not managing large audio projects, editing big video projects, or anything like that with our iPads. We want a device that is an intermediary between our phone and our laptop, and I think the iPad mini is one of the best fits for that. So in conclusion, I think that the iPad mini is the most iPad of iPads because it is portable, it's got plenty of power, it's got a bigger display for when we need that, but it's not so large that it becomes impractical to carry around with us. It is, for me, the ideal device to carry around with me because anything larger, I would probably choose to take my laptop instead. What are your thoughts about the iPad mini? Let's talk about it down in the comment section below. If you're interested in learning how to be more productive with your iPad, check out the course that I've got linked in the description. There are also links to the iPad mini, the case, the Apple Pencil, and some of the other accessories that I use, like this USB adapter that gives me a headphone jack and 2 USB ports that I plug right into the bottom of my iPad to give me extra inputs and outputs. Definitely cool stuff that you can use, and I've got those linked down in the description below. To get notified when other videos like this come out, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Doing that also helps me out, so I greatly appreciate it. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.